this is Nayalla. Thank you so much for joining me again today. So today I'm here sharing with you the first part of a series which will be called Love is the Antidote. So I've got loads of information and I thought if I just made it one big video it would be way too much because I am diving in deep. So I thought if I do it in 3 or 4 separate videos it might be easier to digest. What I will say is if I go through anything and it doesn't make sense to you, you don't understand it, you feel like it's been lost in translation, please reach out to me, please let me know, and I'll either message you privately and we can discuss it so you know what I'm talking about, or I can do another video on that topic and explain it further if you need me to do that. I will not be offended. In fact, I will be very grateful that you are reaching out to me and letting me know that. I would rather you do that than me just be speaking and nobody's on the same page as me. So I'm going to say as well, it can get a little bit confusing because obviously I speak in terms of energy and energetics and what I pick up energetically, but obviously whatever is happening energetically, it is going to have a knock-on effect on the physical. And we're seeing that playing out on the physical plane right now because, like I've said in many videos, I've been picking up an energetic virus for a long time. And I know many other people have picked up on that as well. And I had no idea that it was going to play out in the physical as a way of waking people up. A virus on the physical plane as well. I have been picking up the energetics of the energetic virus on the physical in separate places on the world and our mental body and certain actions that people are taking. So the way that things have panned out in 2020, I wasn't entirely expecting that, but it does make total sense with there being an energetic virus that there would also be a physical virus too. So first I'm going to speak about antidote. What is an antidote? So an antidote is a medicine taken or given to counteract a particular poison, something that counteracts an unpleasant feeling or situation. So back in 2019, it was the 20th of August, I had a huge download. There was loads of information coming to me. A lot of it I didn't fully understand. A lot of it was taking me in a direction that I'd never gone in before or hadn't anticipated that I'd be going in. So it took a while for me to integrate it and kind of get a grasp of what was being shown to me. And that's what I'm beginning to share with you now. It felt like it wasn't the right time, and I was actually going to share it this August, or some of it, as an energy update, but again it just didn't feel right. And then the last energy update that I shared with you, there was certain information made me believe that right, this is the time now. It feels like this is when that information needs to be shared, so that's what I'm doing now. So the download of information was connected to an antidote in regard to the energetic virus that I've just been speaking about, that I've been picking up long before the physical virus came into manifestation, although the energetic virus has been in physical manifestation for a very long time on this planet. So in simple terms, the short version of the virus would be showing up in terms of division, separation, fear-based actions and thoughts and deeds, control, sexual exploitation, and also toxic male energy and toxic female energy. And obviously there's a lot of things that have been playing out on the physical plane that are connected to that virus as well. All these heinous things that many of us wouldn't even think about doing is all connected to that virus. So what we need to be doing right now is become the alchemists, using everything that is on the planet right now to our advantage. Instead of going into victim mode, instead of judgment, any of that, let that go. Come into our hearts, tune in with the energy of true love, move into unity consciousness, and also move into believing in ourselves. And we are, magnificent creator beings. We can create our reality. And that has been part of the virus as well, of the control factor here, where we have been made to believe that we have no power, that we are powerless. So we look at all the lessons that we've learned so far. We also watch our emotions as well, and we feel and embrace them and then let them go, because emotions is energy in motion. So if we're holding on to it, obviously it's going to make us ill. It's going to affect our mind. It's going to affect our physical body. So we learn ways to allow those emotions to flow through. And then when calmness comes, we make choices and take actions from that place rather than being in an emotional state. So we are also in this amazing place right now where we are free to build or become master builders who are free to build their own reality. That is an option and a possibility for us right now. And it has been the whole time. We just were conned into believing that it wasn't. So as more of us wake up and move into empowerment, we also move into that place of becoming master builders. So this is part of the virus as well. This realm is a free will realm. And because there has been a lot of control and manipulation, we have given our power away, basically, and felt like we had no power. So this manipulation has been taking place, so that other people basically have been dictating our choices and what we do, and really affecting the reality that we have been creating. So we've been unconsciously creating a reality for outside entities. So now we're moving into that place where we are taking back our power, and we are able to consciously create a reality that is going to not only be sustainable and healthy, but also, bring us all together, so that we are working together rather than being in a place of separation. So the manipulation takes me to deep state. Now I'm going to be teaching you or speaking about deep state as in the mental body, and what happens when we go into meditation and into an expansive awareness. But obviously, like I said, everything that happens energetically is also playing out in the physical as well, or will eventually find its way in some form on the physical. So deep state, on the physical, what we're talking about here. So it is a body of people, typically influential members of government or agencies, or government agencies, or the military, believed to be involved in the secret manipulation or control of government policy. So if you see there how there is manipulation at play. And also if you think about the word government as well, it was governing the mental body, governmental. They're doing their utmost best to control your mind manipulation, because when they are able to control that realm, not only are they able to influence your thinking and your reality, but also the collective reality and what happens on the physical plane. So by controlling the mental realm, they're able to control the material or the physical realm, and that has been happening for a long, long time. So that is how we have been conned into no longer having free will. And this is the loophole here, because you've had to have agreed because that is free will. So by manipulating and injecting fear or whatever else it has, you are then going along with somebody else's narrative or somebody else's way of doing, rather than it coming from a pure place, which is how this realm was intended. Free will to be explored in a pure sense of that energetic. But this is how we become magnificent creator beings, and this is how we use that to help us to move into higher consciousness than perhaps we would have ever got to had not this have happened. So like I said, instead of being the victims here and going into victim mentality or judgment, we can say thank you. Thank you for everything that you've gifted us. Thank you for these insights that we would not have normally have had. And we can use that to help us grow. So diving in a little bit deeper now to the deep state, and how have they managed to do this? So like I said before, we are living in a holographic matrix Earth. I've done a video on that if you want to go back. I think it was a couple of years ago now. But this is how it works. So whatever you are thinking, however your mentality is, you are going to be projecting that out. So you are going to be having a completely different experience to the person next to you, because your thoughts are different. Therefore, what you see is different. So if you can inject a narrative, a big theme on the collective, you are then going to be controlling how a large population of people are going to be creating their reality. So the holographic projection of the mind then becomes a manifestation of reality. So when we become more empowered through knowledge, we are less likely to be corrupted or controlled or manipulated, because we become free thinkers. We are able to use our mind to create our own reality. And we do that by teaming up with the other brains in our body as well, the heart and the gut. So we're not so top heavy, you know, we're using and integrating and utilizing everything we have. So that is why there's been so much corruption as well. There's been so much focus on the mental body, because they've been able to corrupt the mental body and use these manipulations to control our reality and to control the masses. So as we're going through this huge awakening, we're realizing that, you know, we're aware of these things. We're seeing what feels pure and true to us and what doesn't, and that's part of this energetic virus as well. You know, what we normally do versus what has been manipulated, and we're coming from that energy that has been manipulation rather than truth and purity. So the mind, in order to create something, we have information in the mind. And that's why, you know, when you're not feeling too good, when you're not feeling very well, or you've gone through something, you're going to see the world in a very different place to where you're feeling, you know, on top of the world and amazing and healthy. So again, that is factors, you know, that's all playing a part to how reality is right now, to how the world is looking and being shaped right now. So in order to create a beautiful reality despite what is being presented to you, is by staying focused on what works. So solution-based thinking, because again, that's been part of the corruption, where mainstream media and other things around us, such as deep state and the government, are really projecting and trying to get us to look at the worst things, everything that's going wrong. That's why there's been these huge figures, you know, being pushed in our faces that everything's going wrong and this is not a great time to be alive. But by shifting our thinking and coming into more solution-based ways of tackling certain situations and issues, it doesn't look so daunting and scary. And that's why these people that are offering solutions and healthier ways of getting through it are being pushed to the side or buried or shadow banned. Because obviously, if we become free thinkers, if we become more solution-based thinkers, then again, that control and corruption falls away and doesn't have that power over us anymore. So I was also asked to look at the word astronaut and cosmonaut in terms of deep state. So the energetic deep state going into the mind, deep diving into the mind, rather than the government deep state. So first I was thinking about travelers, space travelers. So in terms of those that actually go into space, they must relearn how to move the body. And that's very much the same as what we're being asked to do right now as well. So we are mainly made up of water, and our body of thoughts affect our reality, affect how we show up, affect our health, and then that has a knock-on effect to our body of matter, so the physical. So we have the mental body, which is a realm all of its own. We have our body of water, which is programmed by our mental body, by the energetics of the brain and the mind and how we think. And then we have the body of matter, which is the material. So it's our physical body, but also the physical reality as well. So learning leads to wisdom, and alchemy turns poison into medicine. So whatever has happened on this realm right now, we have the power to become alchemists and use everything we have at hand, everything that has been thrown at us, and turn it into medicine. And we do that by becoming wiser. We use that wisdom to help us to grow and move us forward, rather than allowing it to suck us under and going into victim mentality or going into dualistic ways of thinking or judging. We come from a purer place and we use it all to our advantage. And I know it's hard to grasp that idea initially, that it's even possible that we can turn something really upside down and back to front and damaging and yucky energy into something amazing. But we have that power, we have that ability, it is possible. So going back to the space theme, so a person who is trained to travel in a spacecraft is also, an astronaut or a cosmonaut, but we are also doing the same thing, because we, when we go into meditation, are going into our spacecraft, which is our body, or we can also have a Merkaba, which allows us to travel as well. So everything that is within us, that can be found within us, that we can create, has kind of been sold back to us in bits and pieces, or given back to us in bits and pieces, but it's all us. It's all come from us. And this is what I realized when I started using computers and tech, which has not really been a part of my life. As I started speaking to people that obviously speak in terms of computer lingo, I was like, well, this is really similar to the brain, and really similar to how the body works. So again, they've taken everything from the human body, everything that we can do, everything that is already within us, and sold it back to us in these little gadgets and gizmos. But it's all coming from us, and we think it isn't. We think it's outside of us, that outside has all the power and we have none. But we are the ones that generate reality. We are the ones that generate change. We are the ones that generate a healthy reality or an unhealthy reality. And okay, we might have been corrupted and manipulated, but that's coming to its end. And the more we tune in with our power, the less likely that is to happen again. And that's how we then become mentors for other civilizations. We show them how we got through it, just as people that are tuning into galactic energies, they're getting, guides come through because they've not been through what we've been through, but through similar things. They've moved into higher consciousness. They've gone through their own hardships and disappointments and corruption. And some of us that are on Earth right now, I know maybe you find this hard to believe, some of you will get it, some of you won't, have had lifetimes as other beings that have gone through similar themes. It's the same themes that keep playing out. It's just obviously manifested in a different way. So we've come back to Earth to help the planet right now, because there's certain things that spark our remembering. We're like, well, we've been through something similar to this before in another lifetime. So I can help, or I can get through this, or I understand this. But we have to work together. It's very important that we work together. No more separation, It's hard to believe this as well at times when there's so many horrible things happening. But again, those things are happening to wake us up to what has been possible when we are unconscious, so that we stay conscious and we stay awake and we stay aware and we move into higher consciousness, because we don't want those things to happen again or to continue to happen. So that's why it's really important that we grow from this now, that we move forward. So, astro, relating to the stars or celestial objects relating to outer space. So this would be, outside the body. So outside of space, and also outside of time. This is where we are at an advantage, because we can move outside of time. And when we are not so influenced by TikTok time, we are able then to move up and down timelines. We are able to see things that we wouldn't normally see. We have 2020 vision. We have a multi-dimensional way of looking at things. So not only are we going to make a choice by what is presented at us, but we can step outside of time and look in from a new perspective and then make choices from that place. So by traveling outside of the matrix, we are able to get a better look at what's going on, a more rounded look at what's going on, a more holistic look at what is going on. So that space outside of all space and time is the place where we create from. We create from there, and that is why it's so important to go in rather than look out. If things look confused and jumbled outside of us, go in. And we have been taught not to do that, we've been taught to go outside of ourselves, to start scrambling and reaching. That's why mainstream media has had such a huge influence on us, because instead of going in and deciding what it is for us, we're switching on the TV or the radio or going onto the internet and seeing what everyone else is saying. Which, it's not a bad thing to get a perspective of what everyone else is seeing or sensing. But if it's being manipulated, then you are bringing in that manipulation, and then you are being controlled. So it's very important that we step into a place of discernment, that we discern this information, that we don't just take on face value of what is happening, but we learn to feel in energetically. How does it feel for us? Because what we see can be very deceptive as well, It may not be as it seems. What you see, there may be something completely different going on behind it. This is where false light and false dark is coming forward prominently, and has been for the last few years as well. because that has been part of it as well. You know, where we've seen somebody is portrayed a certain way and we've just gone along with it. And then it really hurts when that person that we thought had our best interests at heart are then stabbing us in the back. Or when we thought somebody was evil or the worst person ever, and it turns out that their name was just blackened because they knew something or were in too deep in a certain direction. So other people, you know, manipulated how we see them for their gain. All of that needs to stop. And when we are playing that dualistic game, that will continue. So we have to opt out of it. And we have to come from a more wholesome place. Because when we are in duality, we are also in separation ourselves. We are separating ourselves. And if we are separating ourselves, we are also then allowing separation of the whole. So it's important, it's really important that we move into a new way. And it's not always easy because the program is involved, you know, you've got to just let go of something that you've maybe been saying or doing for most of your life. And then it's hard to go into a new way of doing things. It's like if you've got out of if you open the door to go for a walk outside of your house, and for the last 25 years you've gone right. Every time you've opened the door, you've gone right. And then all of a sudden you decide you're going to start turning left when you open the door. Well, sometimes you're going to you step right and be like, oh no, I need to go left. And sometimes you might take a few steps right and be like, oh, I was going to go left today. But then eventually you'll be like, oh, you just turn left. Well, it's the same with the mind as well, with our neural pathways. Each time we go right, that neural pathway gets stronger. And if we start going left, then it gets weaker and the left one gets stronger. So that's why it's really important to be versatile and flexible and allow the mind to be free thinking. Because although some neural pathways are very important to stay strong, others it's not so good for us. That those are the more dominant, strong ones if they're influencing us, in an unhealthy way. So then I was took to the energy of 9 and the energy of 6, and I'll expand on that in the next videos that I'm going to do as well. And also Astra, to the stars, astral, dreamtime realm, which has also been affected by the energetic virus, and Naut, travel, voyager, farer, tripper, water, nautical. So I'm hoping you're beginning to see now what is happening, that because we are mainly made up of water, and because we are very expansive, and because we are easily controlled or programmed, then it is easy for outside influences to program our water and influence our reality. By taking more control of our own lives and ourselves, or our cells, we are able then to create a reality that is better for all of us. So this is what is happening right now. You know, the old ways crumbling and falling away. The deep state is losing its power over us. The holographic reality that has been projected from manipulation, we can see it's distorted. We can see something's not right as we are able to feel into things and be more within ourselves. We're able to see through it all. You know, it's losing all its power. So this is how we then start understanding how love can be the antidote, because if we are not in love, then outside of us is able to control us, and we're not able to see or think clearly. when we tune in with our heart, and when we start using our heart with our mind and with our gut, then we are coming from a more wholesome place. We are tapping into unity consciousness. And like I said, all the illusion falls away. The virus has no power over us. This is the energetic virus I'm talking about. And because that is all lower level energy, the higher we go in consciousness and the higher we go vibrationally, that dissolves and falls away as well, because it has no place in this reality. It has no place in this realm anymore. It's been allowed. It's been allowed because we've been asleep. It's been allowed because we've been unconscious. Again, no judgment here. It just is the way it is, but we can move forward. So I'm going to leave that for today's video, and I'm going to share another one of these next week with you and keep going until I've shared all the information with you. I hope that has helped you. I hope this made sense. Like I said, if you don't understand anything or you want me to go in deeper, please let me know and I will do that for you. I didn't expect to be going in this direction at all. So it's quite daunting for me to be speaking about these things as well. But it kind of is tying in with what I teach in a way as well. It's just bringing it all together, I guess. So yeah, I'm going to leave that with you today. I'm sending you so much love. I am wishing you a truly amazing day, whatever you decide to do, and I hope to see you again very, very soon. Goodbye for now.